Ready. Uh, okay, also. Mulai. Kamera rolling action. Okay guys. Today we gathered in this room to talk about the principles of democracy. Myself, I'm Imanuel Setyo.
My name is Nana.
My name is Fauzy.
My name is Vier.
And we have a special guest that is unable to attend this very meeting, but she's available through Zoom. Please introduce yourself.
Guys, I'm Aisya. First of all, sorry that I cannot attend the offline meeting. So I'm joining through the online meeting through Zoom.
Okay, it's okay. Apology accepted.
So, just a quick disclaimer before we start. This will be a live discussion. We are here to discuss and share pieces of our thoughts. So, in no way we're implying any rights or wrongs for the answers that we will give. We're doing this for the sole purpose of raising awareness regarding the topics that we will cover later. So, we ask for your understanding as our answers may not satisfy your standards.
So just relax, okay? No need to be too serious.
Okay, to not waste any further time, we can just move on to the first question. Mr. Fauzy, would you mind explaining the first question?
Okay, so the first question: what do you think when you hear the word democracy? What do you guys think?
Who's first? Maybe me?
Sure.
Sure.
Okay. For me, democracy is from Greek words, okay? From demos meaning people and kratos meaning power. So basically it's a people power. So democracy can be thought as power of the people, a way of governing which depends on the will of the people. It's from me. How about you know?
If I think of the word democracy, I think of a leader that is elected through the means of power by their own people. If like the Indonesians say, dari rakyat untuk rakyat. That's what I think of when I hear democracy.
That's a cool word, man.
Yeah, and I think there's supposed to be transparency in the system, and yeah, I think that's all I can give about democracy. What do you think?
Can I add on? So I think democracy is a situation where citizens are given equal rights to make decisions that, if I can say in a democratic way, can change the trajectory of their lives. And it's a situation where citizens are allowed to contribute, participate, or either directly or through reps to formulate, develop, and even make laws.
So as far as I can observe, so where democracy actually upholds everyone's rights and also upholds transparency. Alright, how about we move on to the next question? Oh no. I'm sorry, I forgot our main guest. Oh my god, I'm so sorry.
VIP, bro.
The VIP guest. What do you think?
I think democracy is like a political system that featuring the principle of rule by the people. So I think it is a rule by the majority, not only by one people only. So the decision is decided by the majority of the people. That's what I think about democracy.
Oh, Dubs is being our special guest, right?
Okay.
That's a unique way of looking at it. That's what I'm saying.
That's why she's the special guest.
Okay, Mr. Fauzy, will we move on to the next question?
Okay.
Question number two.
Question number two. How is democracy related to the fulfillment of human rights?
Can I go first?
Okay, go on.
Okay, so I guess I can connect the dots between democracy and the fulfillment of human rights through the values that comes within the democracy itself. Since we usually associate democracy with, let's say, freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of association, and those are instruments of human rights, right? So I would say democracy cannot happen if one does not possess the ability to fulfill human rights.
That's right. May I?
Yes.
Okay, I'm agree because democracy provides an environment that respects human rights and fundamental freedoms. freely express will of the people. People have a say in decision, can hold decision makers to account. The important thing now, women and men have equal rights, right? And all people are free from discrimination.
Oh, yeah.
Uh, if actually this is a question that is, I think I've been asked this question in the test.
Wow. Then.
Midterm exam.
Mm.
There, I answered that democracy is the governmental system that is the answer, the closest answer to the preserving and growing of human rights. You see. So I think it's the best governmental system in my opinion. Yeah. So what do Aisha think? I want to hear from Aisha.
So if I can conclude for all of your answers, that democracy and human rights go hand in hand. So this means that every human being has a human right to democracy. But can human rights also be realized in a political and legal system which is not democratic? I think no. Human rights cannot be fully implemented if the political and legal system is not democratic, as every human being's participation in opinion building and decision-making processes is protected by human rights. So I think that's my view. So what about policy? Oh wait.
No, yeah, okay, so I can actually conclude that democracy, not just, I don't know, it does not set boundaries between the people in it. It offers a set of regulations, but it upholds the people's opinions, so people can actually contribute on making those regulations.
That's
What do you
right.
guys think?
Because, like I said before, democracy must provide the human rights and vice versa.
Yes.
Like human rights secure the implementation of democracy. That's from me.
Okay, what do you guys think? Should we move on to the next question?
Before we move on, I just want to say Aisha's answer is like, I think she's on her way to become a lecturer.
It's a very good
That's a very high compliment.
L pickup lines.
Okay.
Alright. Question number 3. Can you give a specific example where a human right is violated, and if so, why is it necessary? Alright, who wants to go first?
Maybe our special guest.
Okay, go on.
About violation of human rights. I think I can think of like a massacre, like something like that. How about you?
For me, maybe discrimination when you put aside the other people, make them doesn't have their rights. It's kind of violation for me. Yeah. How about you?
Can I?
Oh yeah, let's continue.
Yeah.
It seems for me that even in this era, like tolerance in the context of the right of
Take your time.
sorry, loading.
Okay.
Oh, loading.
Okay, sorry. I was meaning to say freedom of religion. So, yeah, we're still facing a few obstacles about it. And I think recently there was a case where people from Cilegon were opposing the idea of constructing worship sites for religions other than Islam, especially the construction of churches. And so, yeah, I think it's very important to keep on reminding not only to other people, but also to ourselves that we live in a diverse society. So we live side by side with the differences that exist. So it is very necessary for us to be respectful and be appreciative of the diversity instead.
It's kind of hard for our society to accept that.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, I've had this very experience myself.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So a few months ago, I went to play billiard with a few of my friends. Then, long story short, I get charged extra for the parking fee. Because my license plate is not Woke Nemas. That's a violation. Come on. Okay. I'll stop the joking, but I think a violation of human rights is. I think this is the one it's the freedom of speech, like said earlier. I think everyone should be able to state their opinions clearly, as long as it doesn't breach the special duties and also responsibility of the state that is regulated in the Constitution. And also, there have been many international conventions that have stipulated the act. For example, the ICCPR. I think the freedom of speech should not compromise the public order and also respecting of other people's rights. But it is necessary for example, the government. They need to be criticized. But in a way, I don't think it's fair that they get the right to shut down the criticism and also the critics. That's for me.
Yeah, I'm agree because the main problem in our society is, I think, is zero tolerance, right? Like there's someone who want to be more superior and don't want to be equal with the others, and it happens in our government, right? Yeah, it's kind of weird to have that. How about you, Aisya?
Okay, can I add something to my earlier answer? So I answered that one of the things that popped up in my head about violation of human rights is massacre or genocide, because violence in endangering life is the basic human rights, right? And recently there are a lot of war in this world, like Palestine and Israel, or what else? Can you guys have something? And I think that's a violation of human rights. Like people have the rights to live peacefully. So I think genocide, massacre, those are the violation. The first thing that popped up in my head when I heard violation of human rights.
I see. Okay, can we continue to the next question? Mr. Fauzy?
Okay. Well, actually, I haven't answered yet.
It's okay. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Because it is quite interesting for me. You guys still remember the Waters case?
Yeah.
It might be an administrative, but it actually leans towards the human rights of the people in that village, where people are being evicted out of. Here's the thing. Pak Ganjar said during the conference that both parties has actually agreed, but the people in the village profess and confessed about the things that they do not even know about. So they still have the right to stay there, but they're being evicted. So that's actually one of a few examples, a small example of violation of human rights from the government towards, the people, the minority. Even now that the case has been closed. So, I don't know, it has too much intervention from the LSOs, the NGOs, the hates, the parties of Pak Ganjar and yada yada yada. And not to mention the Red Ball, I'm sorry. Yeah. Alright, so that's that. Let's move on to the fourth questions. What are the principles of democracy? Explain. Alright, who wants to go first?
Professor L. I'm sorry guys, I'm a little under the wind today.
Waduh.
Get lost.
Everyone's under the wind, bro.
Huh?
Everyone's under the wind.
Yeah. What's the question? Come again, please.
What are the principles of democracy?
Okay. According to the text of the lecturer Arun Baru, it constitutes as 10 points. The first point being the separation of powers. Then constitutional government, this one. Then state based on the rule of law. Majoritarian government, and free and fair election, democracy, more than one political party, freedom of press, protection of human rights and judicial independence. And I think we can all agree on that this is the proper, this is correct example of the principles of the democracy. Do you guys think so?
Yeah.
Okay. It is mutually beneficial.
Well, for me, democracy appeal from the two key principles. For me, like there is individual autonomy, that the idea that no one should be the subject to rules which have been imposed by the others, and that's the problem nowadays, because people want to be able to control other life with the reason, with the rules. And the second is equality, the idea that everyone should have the same opportunity to influence the decision that affect people in society. That's main things of democracy from me. How about the others?
To be very honest, I have yet to, further understand the concept of like principles of democracy. So you guys are very helping and like giving a better explanation to the concept. So thank you guys.
You're welcome.
Tertouch.
Nah, anjay.
You're welcome.
Our special guest. Any comment?
You want to add something?
Actually, I want to ask something.
Waduh.
Waduh.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay, Prof.
Why should the government, why should there wait, how to say it again?
Deep breaths.
Deep breaths. That's a hot topic.
Wait, there should be a separation of powers.
According
What are the
what are the sorry?
goals of separation of powers?
Okay. In Indonesia, I think there's I forget the term, but it's separated into three powers like executive, judiciary, and
Negatif.
yeah, legislative. The main goal of the trias politica is to provide check and balances between the three of the lawmaking, the executor, and also the one, how should I put it? Executive makes the law, and
The one who executes the law, and also the one who actually,
Yeah.
the application of the law.
something along those lines.
Yeah.
That's my best answer regarding that.
If I may add on to that, so separation of power is necessary because, especially if we're talking about democracy, where in the development of a country it requires participation from its citizens. So absolute power cannot be conferred to just one body or one person, because if that was the case, then that's going to encourage the arbitrary use of power. So that's why separation of power is very important.
Yes. I get it. How about you, mate?
Yeah, I do think that it is important to have check and balances in every single aspect to prevent this kind of arbitrariness, this kind of abuse of power, because, well, back again, we are in democracy, see? So, bear in mind, guys, this is very crucial for us to like have these sorts of elements that covers everything, one another. So, that's that.
Yeah, that's right. That's why there is judicial review and other act to review the law,
Yes.
review the government to make it better. That's right. I agree with you.
I actually found this statement out from the internet where, well, he's a politician. He actually said this: if there's this debate who makes the law, if they knew that their law would actually be on the judicial review, why should they make it cacat first? If they can make it perfect, are they intending to make laws that yang pada akhirnya masuk ke judicial review? Is it something that they intentionally do, or is it just something that goes out of control?
I think because they want to know the response from the society, so they know where's the problem, where's the other things of the law.
Yes, exactly.
Next question, maybe.
Alright, last question. Wow. What does happen when a democratic decision constitutes a human rights violation? This one's hard.
It's kind of hard for me. How about you, Al?
Yeah, that's why I asked this question to you guys.
Oh, strategic choice, eh?
Don't know the answer first, ya lady. Not good.
Okay.
No, I'm good answer. That's why I asked you guys.
Because I'm not the best listener in class, I think I'd like to throw this to Nana instead.
Okay, so I guess to simply put it out, if the state was found to constitute human rights violation, if they remain indifferent despite acknowledging the issues and does not take action to resolve it, then I guess the civilization that is built in that country is deceptive in a way. So yeah, that's my personal take. So how about you guys?
That's very complex. Rick and Morty stuff.
Wow.
Thank you. I'll take that as a compliment.
Yeah. Wow.
For me, once again, human rights secure the implementation of democratic decision and thereby help democratic government to become effective. So if the human rights the way of they implement is good, so the democratic can just go.
I think it's kind of weird in the first place. I know this has happened from time to time, but it's kind of weird that a state would establish a law that is against their own other law, because I think human rights have been regulated in their most of states today have human rights embedded right into their constitution. So when they publish a law that is against their constitution, that's kind of a weird way of looking at it.
Interesting.
I think there's many law that breach the human right, like death penalty is breach the human right, like taking someone's life. But yeah, it's kind of weird for me too. How about you, Nick?
I don't know, regarding human rights and death penalty, like across the years, people are actually intrigued by death penalty as a last resort of punishment, like to give that extra punch to the society to not do this again. But back again, they're violating human rights. And the kind of all sets of regulations being altered, not in accordance with their own, visions with the society. Again, it's a political interest, and political interest is everywhere.
But I think regarding the death penalty case, I think those states that has or not regularly, but is notorious for using the death penalty, only uses it on very grave crimes.
Yeah.
Maybe in the context of governments or something. Yeah.
It's kind of hard to talk about this. Once again, this is not class. Just relax.
Yes.
So how about our special guest?
Awas ada kang bakso.
It's kind of hard topic, but yeah. I'm a little bit confused in here.
Actually, I kind of agree to disagree to you guys' opinions, but okay, I get it.
So there's all.
Actually, that was the last question.
The last hard question for me.
Yeah, it's been a very good few minutes spending my time talking with you guys. With you guys.
Okay.
I get a very lot insight from this talk.
Very, very loud.
Yeah. Should I closing? Mr. Closing?
Okay. So the point is that democracy in Indonesia, in accordance with the human rights and those kinds of stuff and regulations that are being set by the government, it's all interconnected. So it is is important for us as the people who are in the background running. We should influence the government to always stay in their lane, just to keep that abusement of power exist. Well, I gained a lots of insights from today's topic.
Okay.
Maybe one thing that I should state is that to the government, punya hati tapi tak hati-hati.
Next president.
Aduh.
Don't play, bro.
Government, hear it.
Waduh. Ya. Maybe. Whoa. Wanna go? Go on. Oh, yeah. Not yet.
Okay.
Oh. Alright, so that's that from all of us. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Have a nice day, guys. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
35 menit kan jadinya? Gue timer.
Oh, mantap lah.
Lumayan
Oke,
sih.
thank you Aisya.
Aduh,
Thank you.
mantap.
Gak keras. Siap.
Mantap.
Aduh. Gue tadi dibilangin katanya jam 6